if you want to sketch that out on a napkin. All right, both players are ready. Let's go ahead and count down for game number 1 in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And we're off. We got an S, we got a J, we got some Tetris. And I'm Arbarrro. This is Top Flight CTL action. Who are these players? This is a huge match. Sidnev out of the Netherlands. Big player. She's currently number 7 in the Premier Poll rankings as of May 2024. Sitting at 1-4 in the standings at 26 points. This is her next to last match. I face Gerald Freeman after this. Whoever wins this one will go into the lead, I think. Ooh, look what's up. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Nice. We got is Dan currently doing a little bit of digging. Kind of more or less tight score, but Sidnev will probably take a little bit of advantage. She gets the Vits. Jasmine goes wild. Dan is set up dirty. DanV out of the United Kingdom. Number 8 when it comes to the Premier Poll ranking, so right after Sidnev. Kind of have a bit of a giant killer. Currently sitting at 5-0, has not lost a set yet, but at 29 points, so has lost a few more games. So the winner of this will take the division. He has to play Blue Scooty after this, so again, both players have pretty big matches up ahead. Okay, King's gonna say we spent some time fixing his 1.3 score problem. Nice. All right, we love that. I'll keep an eye out. Because I think the dog versus Portal match was might have been. Make sure that doesn't happen again. But I'll also just try to remember that what Tuesday scores at. It's about kind of high. She'll get out of it though. Never really in any danger, I don't think. She is well reopened. Dan is taking a bit of a lead here. 216 to 175. Both these players have recently won a CTWC Regionals in 2024. Sidnev was the Austria champion, and DanV was the Paris champion. So there you go. Top tier European players. Div 1B Arbs. Thank you, Kingsman. I have like a 0% record for changing that thing. Anyway, Kingsman. I didn't even change it before the YouTube edit would have been, so YouTube can scold me if they want. They're usually pretty good about not mentioning me at all, and that's true. It's all about the players, and the players are playing real well right now. Sidnev has retaken the lead. Actually, I mean, as much of it as it is, which is nothing. These players are tied up about halfway to 19. I think Ampu, he is paying attention. Ampu is real good. Again. Arbo, hello Snick. How's it going? Good to see ya. Got Sidnev and we got DanV. Huge matchup here. Sidnev with a Z-Tuck. DanV's got a, yeah. I would say he's like established himself as a bit of a giant killer, but he's like one enough where like he's considered one of the giants. Yeah, he beat Gerald Freeman already. He swept Gerald Freeman. Last week, I believe it was. There's a little bit of a T-miss drop, but he's going to be okay. Gets that stack down. Hello, Dewey. Chen in chat saying, "Go Dan." Love to see people cheering each other on. That's what sports are all about, and this is an e-sport. I guess. It's an e-sport, right? I don't know. I feel like Tetris is different to me than other esports, but that just might be because I like it. Dan's like 4-0, yeah. Jasmine in chat saying Dan's like 4-0 in matches against Gerald. Just yeah, Gerald's kryptonite. He's taken on some other big opponents lately though. Dan's rematch after the May 2024 CTM fiasco. Dan played pretty... Hold on, let me look at my notes from that one. This is a rematch. Yeah, this is a rematch of the first round CTM red bracket match. Sidnev took that one. I think it was 3-1, and then she went on to defeat Fractal. So, you know, hard to feel too bad about losing that one. 513 for Dan, 555 for Sidnev, and she transitions 557. Dan gets the spin. So resolve a dependency near the bottom of his stack. In a bar, plug up some stuff, but there we go. He has Tetris ready, 2 lines away for the transition. Meanwhile, Sidnev at 581, waiting on the bar. She is set up. Is the bar coming? The bar ain't coming. Dan transitions 538. Sidnev is now in an 18-piece drought, and it comes soon afterward, 609. So Dan's going to be experiencing that drought as well pretty soon. Oh, misshifts a Z. So he's going to get this stack down. He's going to be A-okay. He gets a Tetris. 615 for Sidnev. Gets another Tetris, makes that 642. Dan's at 590, but he does have a level of lines in pocket. He's up pretty high, though. He's set up for a Tetris. Hangs a square. Needs to get this open. He does. Nice, nice, nice. Handling a very scary situation very well. He's going to get it down. Still digging, though. So Sidnev's going to open up more of a lead here. Gets another Tetris. Goes up to 730 into 23. Dan still has the lines in pocket, even after that high dig. Oh, that's a delayed skim. Ends up getting it. Isn't quite ready for the bar. Looks like he needs a J in order to get it. Didn't quite come in time, so Dan's still digging. So Sidnev is still opening up this lead. Longbar Tetris 819, level 24. She's now ahead. Over 150,000 points, but Dan is clean, scoring Tetrises yet again. Goes up to 651. About halfway to 29. There's the Tetris for Dan. And also, Dan has way fewer lines in pocket now, maybe about half a level. 855 for Sidnev, 911 for Dan. Longbar Tetris for Dan. Longbar Tetris for Sidnev. Both players level 25. Jasmine in chat saying, let's go, Dan. Both these players are fun to watch. Get it. Yeah, Sidnev's set up. Longbar Tetris. One more for the max. She's into level 27. Dan. Tetris is as well. We'll have to take at least one skim. Doesn't quite resolve the situation. But he gets a bar. That's going to be good. Sidnev maxes out. Gets another Tetris. 1054. So level 27. Need something. There we go. Gets a T. There we go. Andrew saying Sidnev 1.8 washed. I want to go that far. A smork situation here. Sidnev gets a bar, gets a Tetris. 1097. Still room for one more before the transition. She could go into it with a 1.1. Here's what you want to see. 893 for Dan. So Dan will have a bit of room to make up. Sidnev. 1102 is the transition score. Does have a couple misdrops right after this transition, but she gets pieces over. And there we go. Nice, nice, nice. Sidnev scrolling like no one else rolls. I mean, other people roll like her, but not a whole lot. 975 is the transition score for Dan, and kind of dropping a lot of frames, but that's okay. Getting pieces over. He's in a little bit of a dig himself. Sidnev gets clean. 1169. Missed a couple of Tetrises there. Going to take a triple. Getting a little, okay, getting it set up. Both players clean now. Dan takes a double, going to get himself situated here, but Sidnev quite a bit of a lead. 1187 to 1031. Sidnev set up, gets a longbar, gets a Tetris. Dan gets a longbar for a triple, gets his stack down. 1230 for Sidnev, 1044 for Dan. Dan another triple. Now he's clean. Sidnev set up. He doesn't come quite in time. Another one comes. She's just going to take the triple. Longbar Tetris for Dan. 1096. 1251 for Sidnev. Sidnev getting set up. She's almost set up. Does get set up with that T. Longbar Tetris. 1296 to 1141. Sidnev still holding on to a 6-figure lead. Gets her well reopened, gets a lombard. That's going to be a triple. Dan is in a little bit of trouble. Gets a square over. He's going to get his well reopened. Gets a lombard. That's going to be a split triple. Gets another lombard. He's not going to risk it. Doesn't try to get it over to the left side. Next one is he's set up left well. He needs a bar. He gets it. Gets the Tetris 1207. Sidnev's capture is, she's up to 1,300 points, but ignore that. So 1339 for Sidnev. It's confusing the 8 and the D. Don't worry about it. But Dan's board falling apart very, very quickly. He gets a 1252. He's going to top out. Sidnev is good for game number 1. GG's. She's set up for another Lombard Tetris. Goes up to 1,400 points. She might even get that 1.8. You're joking, but you know, look at this. GG's. Lombard Tetris. Okay, she's at level 38, so we'll want another one. Lombard Tetris 1.546 gets another couple of lines here in 39. There's 3, and that's it. 1551. What a start! GG's. Sidnev will take game number 1. Alrighty, looks like we're ready. Looks like we have the calibration issues solved. So let's go ahead and count down for game number 2 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Here we go. Yeah, thank you for being patient. We, you know, solving technical issues is kind of part of the life of someone trying to play Tetris online. Dan fits set up right off the gate. Knows Jasmine's in chat. And there we go. Beautiful. Sidnev, we're going to get a Tetris to start things off. Dan's going to fire right back. Jasmine is ecstatic. Sidnev had to take a few burns early on. She's down by about a Tetris, but there is still a lot of game coming. CTL saying we should start charging for VITs. A little VITs. You know how like there's that little air thing, like you have to put in quarters into the machine and it gives you air to pump up your tires at a gas station. It's like that, but for VITs. You just pump up your Tetris board with some VITs. I don't know if this makes any sense. I think this is completely incoherent. Scratch that thought. Dan 138, Sidnev 98, both players set up. I'm presuming that T-Burn was awesome. I do really like the flash. I will say that. I think that was a huge improvement. Alrighty, we are... Okay, Dan, I'm going to take a little bit of burns, a little bit of burn-in, a little bit of time to get his stack reordered. Needs a bar for dependency. And just plug it up. There we go. Gets the burns. Now he is in the clear. Nice tuck setup for the Z. Nice Lombard, nice Tetris. We're tied up here. Sidnev up by like less than 1,000. Veda's pretty. SMH, Classic Tetris League. Yeah. Thank you, Obi, for that one. We, here at Classic Tetris League, we care about accessibility. At least we're doing our best. Rinrin saying, are you available to restream matches after CTL? Perhaps. Give me a quick moment. Yeah, I'm available. Yeah, I could do a couple matches. If you're not sure to play. Oh, Ampu, did Ampu no show? Oh no. Can I restream my match versus Water Blocks? Sure, I can do that. I'll do that. Certainly. Try about 30 minutes. Yeah, you know, we can do it. I mean, obviously, we have to wait for this match to end, and it could take like another 45 minutes or so. So if you're willing to wait for that, I will do it. Sidnev up by 1 point by her patented 1 pushdown point. Gonna keep that lead. Both players Tetrising 374 through 76. Very, very close game. Very efficient game from both players. They are nailing it. a little bit of time without a bar. Not quite to drought level, but both players will have to take a few skims, so they won't quite be in lockstep anymore. Sidnev froze for a sec, but now she is back. Lombard Tetris. Very, very close still. I'm getting my sleep schedule back together exclusively so I won't miss Tetris Friendlies matches. No other reason. I went to bed at 9 p.m. yesterday. It was glorious. I slept until 7. I slept for 10 hours. Nice line spin from Dan. Very close still. It was great. My cat didn't wake me up at 5. It's just I had not been sleeping well, and now I feel fantastic. You have no idea how good I feel. If you're ever feeling bad, I would recommend sleeping is maybe not don't sleep for 13 hours every day. That's called depression. But sleeping is wonderful. It is kind of, I don't want to say it's the best 8 hours I spend every day because I don't spend 8 hours doing it, but it's great. 563 for Dan, 565 for Sidnev. Still super close. We are getting closer and closer to 19. Getting proper sleep is so nice. You're not wrong. Lombard Tetris. The problem is that there's so many things I want to do, right? And there's not enough time to do it, and I don't want to just go to bed without doing things. I gotta do my guitar practice. I gotta get caught up with this week in Tetris. I gotta restream some matches. I want to play some Balatro. I gotta do my job at some point. Yeah, we might have a more or less tied game. There we go. 6-16 for Dan, 6-16 for Sidnev. 1 point difference, and also 1 line difference going into 19. Great game so far. Both players 600 transitions. It's a very good transition. This is so close. Instead of waiting on the bar, has to block the wall right before it comes. But next one's going to be a Tetris. So she's going to do a little bit of digging. Dan's going to develop a completely meaningless lead. Maybe not completely meaningless, but Sidnev set up dirty. There we go. Lombard Tetris. And there's another dirty. Okay, so this is like a non-trivial lead for Dan now. 775 to 781. Again, still a very close game, but the push-down point is going to matter. It's going to matter in any game. It's going to matter in this one because if Dan runs into a slowdown that was approximately the same length as Sidnev's, and then something weird happens on 29. Lombard Tetris for Sidnev, 844. Dan fires back 869. Both players level 23. So yeah, less than a Tetris lead for Dan. Dan's getting Tetrises. Sidnev does have to do a little bit of digging here. She's set up dirty. Lombard Tetris. 911 for her. 974 for Dan. Dan is looking for the level 26 transition. Sidnev T-spin, getting the stack down. Yes, almost has the well reopened. There it is. Dan has maxed out. It's 1008. Sidnev 948. So we are... Sidnev gets a tuck. Lombard Tetris does need something for her left. Gets a bar. So it's going to have to develop a couple holes there. So a little bit of digging. Lombard triple. 1081 for Dan. 995 for Sidnev. She's about to max out. Here on 27. Gets the... Oh, there we go. Dan's also on 27. 1114. Already has the 1.2. Sidnev will get the max out. 1,000 points. Lombard Tetris, Sidnev, 1037. Dan now 5 lines away from 29. Nice spin there. Getting the stack cleared up. one Tetris away, and there it is. Dan transitions, 1190, waiting on the bar. There he goes, gets the stack down. Sidnev transitions, 1077. So down about 100,000 points, 120. She's digging right now. She's trying to get the board clear. She does. Dan set up. Dan Lombard Tetris 1072. Sidnev also Tetris ready, waiting on the bar. They ain't coming, so she's going to have to burn out of it. She's set up again. Dan having a few holes in his stack, getting it cleared up. Needs a Lombard. Oh, doesn't put the Lombard in the dependency. He's just going to set up dirty. 1350 for Dan. 1103 for Sidnev. Sidnev doesn't get an S all the way over. Lombard Tetris going to keep her game alive. 1141. She's digging though. Gets the Lombard over. Nice. Dan 1369. I don't think he's got another Tetris on the board, but he's clean. He's set up. Sidnev getting pieces over, has a Lombard dependency, barely gets the T over, gets a triple, gets the stack down, stands waiting for the bar. There it is, 1453. Sidnev gets the long bar, that's going to be a triple. She's still digging, and this is a little bit of a miracle dig, but she can't get the stack down. She can't get herself Tetris ready. There's another Tetris for Dan, 1470. Sidnev's at 1180. Dan gets the bar all the way over there. Great. There we go. Another Tetris for Dan. 1518. Dan's having a monster game. 1518. Another Lombard. 1561. I think he's one away from the rollover Tetris for Sidnev. Let's call him 2-1 off. 1236. Dan, though, a couple misdrops, gets the bar over. That's going to be a triple, but that might be all he can do. 1576. He's going to top out. Sidnev needs 1577 in order to take it. 1577. She has to make up a lot of points. Lombard 1292. I don't know if she has enough time, but she's definitely going to try. He is set up, needs the bar. Bar ain't coming. She's going to take the triple, but that's fewer lines that she's going to have in order to do it. She needs something 8. Okay, she's at 1313. That's not going to be it. She's going to hang the bar, and Dan's going to take the game. GG's. 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Porky and my cat's still cooking at 16 right now. Yeah, no, the thing is, like, Gawa, my cat, is still super energetic. He's supposed to be a senior citizen, but he's still, like, doing wall jumps when he jumps, you know, when he runs around the apartment. He still gets zoomies. Still yelling very loud at 5:15 a.m. He's doing great. Guten Abend. Hallo. Wie geht's? I don't actually speak. My cat is a driller. I don't have that problem. That's maybe that problem. Calibration. Yeah, Cole saying NTC miscalc. Yeah. On Sidnev's side, it's confusing a D with an 8. So if you see an 8 in, yeah, she could conceivably get a 1.3 in before 29. But if you see a B in kill screenplay, then it's going to be. So it was up kind of high. I have to get this stack down. Need something to the left. Come on. There we go. Gets the well reopened. Nice, nice, nice. Oh my goodness. This is really spicy for Sidnev. Does he get bar over? Yes, she does. Getting it down. Yes. T-spin setup gets it. And she's still in a little bit of trouble, but gets the bar over. Nice. Nice. Okay, that L is going to be super helpful. Gets the S over. I think she's out of it. Gets the well reopen. Gets the Lombard. Gets the Tetris. Great dig from Sidnev. She did lose a little bit of pace on that. 132 for Sidnev. 166 for DanV. He's looking squeaky clean. A great dig to get out of that. Yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, so if you see an 8 in Sidnev's score in kill screen, treat that as a 13, so it'll be like 1.3. She's now Sidnev's trying to make up for last time, getting Tetris after Tetris. 201 to 234. Dan does have about 6 lines in hand, so pretty close to tie it up here. Somehow, after all of that. I don't really know how, but Lombard Tetris for Dan. 326 for him. 270 for Sidnev. She's waiting on the bar, and she's going to get it. But it's super clean play here so far. Dan does kind of keeping his 5 to 10 lines in pocket, and does have a slight lead besides. 315 for Sidnev. 372 for Dan. We are over halfway to level 19. Looking, Sidnev got kind of high again, but she got the bar, she got the Tetris. She's going to be a-okay. Left side does need some TLC, but looks like it's going to be okay. Nice square, has a bar dependency. You want to get the Lombard, and that's going to be good for a triple. And Dan kind of scoring some point on the Tetrises a little bit right here. There's another one, 452. Sidnev's at 376. And there's a Lombard. There's another triple. And Sidnev is almost out of this. She's getting pieces over. There we go. Reopens the well. Scored kind of spiky. Not going to matter. Lombard Tetris. And she's going to get a bar for the dependency. And she's going to, everything burns out. And there we go. Burnt down to the bottom. Got a couple of Tetrises besides. 433 for Sidnev. Dan opening up a lead here, though. 500,000 points. Gets a tuck. Oh, nice adjustments for Dan. So he's trying to do a little bit of digging. So Sidnev might be able to make up some of this, or she has a couple skims to do, but she is now Tetris ready. Dan is 2 as well, so Dan resolved that pretty efficiently. He's going to hold on to a lead. We are very close to 19 here. Sidnev and Dan both 8 lines away. 2 Tetrises possible. Lombard Tetris for Sidnev. One more is in the there's 2 bars in a row. That's going to get her there. 506 transition score for Sidnev. Dan going to get a Tetris, has the room for one more, and there it is. 599. So Dan with about a 85,000 point lead. Neither player quite hitting 600, but still solid 18 play. Sidnev has a bar dependency. Column 3, kind of just getting worse, but there it is. That's not quite a dependency. And that bar is going to make things a lot easier to swallow. Dan holding on to quite a bit of a lead here. Nice spin from Sidnev to resolve a hole in her stack. 618 for Sidnev, 705 for Dan. Dan, Sidnev's sport looking a little. She's going to have to do a little bit more. Having some issues staying clean, but I feel like against most opponents, that wouldn't be too much of a problem. But Dan's playing very efficiently. Dan's kind of, in a position to take advantage of it. Lower Tetris for Sidnev. She's getting Tetrises, though. She's keeping herself within striking distance. About a 6-figure lead, but not much more than that for Dan. Does still have lines in pocket. Only 5, though. So really anyone's game. Sidnev can play beastly on 29. She's going to take a triple. Going to get her well reopened. Dan's clean. Dan's waiting on the bar. So I'm going to have to take a few more burns, but should be okay. Dan, 892. Sidnev, 758. There's a Tetris for Sidnev. Inching closer and closer to 29. Lombard Tetris for Dan. And Sidnev getting slightly droughted. She gets the well reopened. 16-piece drought so far. Lombard's going to come. Dan's trying to do a little bit of digging a little higher than he wants it to be. This is, very manageable for him, but problem is if something bad happens, it becomes very unmanageable very quickly. Lombard Tetris, Dan's more or less out of it. Takes the last couple burns, and he maxes out. 1006 for Dan. 989 for Sidnev. Sidnev currently level 28. Does have a little bit of a spiky stack. So we'll want... What an adjustment for Sidnev. How does she see that? 995. Okay, she's going to max out soon, but her stack is very high. A lot more. That's going to be a double. So she takes the max. This is looking spicy. She hangs the J, and that's going to be it. She tops out 1101. Sorry, 1001. Dan is good for game number 3. GG's. Three, two, one. Tetris. Alright, they're off. They're Tetris ready. They're getting the first Tetris of the game. Sidnev up by a point. It's going to be kind of a beautiful day here in sunny Seattle. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot. But yeah, the weather. I'm literally talking about the weather. That's fine. I should be talking about Tetris. Sidnev set up for Vitz, but the bar ain't coming. There's the bar. Yeah, she's going to get it burnt out. Lombard, and there's the Vitz. Next one's going to be a Tetris. T-spin. Sans in some trouble. Dan is up pretty high. Gonna get the bar over. Yeah, getting pieces to the left, getting pieces to the right. It looks like he's going to be mostly okay. Maybe I'm speaking a little too soon, but this is definitely less hairy of a situation. There you go. Gets the square. Needs one more piece, maybe two more pieces. Gonna have to block the well with that J. It's reopened. Waiting on the bar now. That's the thing. You're the well reopened, but you're still up pretty high. Had to take the burns in. And that square, you know, got him so that he couldn't take another burn, but the bar did come, and now he is out of the situation. Sidnev's turn to take the lead here, though. 186 to 93. Jasmine said, Vitz with long bar is so sad. Oh no. Oh, okay. Yay. That, oh. Dan getting that L over. Kind of on, he set up column 3. So he's, kind of just keeping that, columns 1 and 2 built up. Some J's and L's and there you go. Gets everything burnt back down. I think he might just take the 2 line clears and get that well back over. Maybe not. Something's happening. Gets a T tuck, or sorry, square tuck. He's a J, gonna get it. Set up now. It's just kind of quating it right now. 347 for Sidnev, 231 for Dan. Another Tetris for Dan goes up to 254. You're scoring. Playing Tetris. All right, sitting over the tuck. Both players set up, waiting for the bar. Lombard Tetris. There we go. Really clean. Yeah, so Dan had to burn out of it, so Jasmine's sad. Jasmine is sad. Did have to get a, did get an L in there though, so Dan is A-okay. Instead of holding on to about 100,000 point lead, we're over 100 lines, so transition is coming in less than 30. What is that left? Yeah. Solid play here. All clear on the Western Front. Lombard Tetris, Sidnev 518, Dan 423. A little bit of a tuck there for Dan. This will be remiss not to mention there is a prize pool. You can do exclamation point Matcherino in chat. Up to 1920 right now. Be cool to get that up to an even 2K. It's a nice juicy incentive for these players who are rocking your world. Dan will transition 516. Sidnev's off to a great start. Needs one more line. Gets a Lombard Tetris 657. So Sidnev has a very healthy lead here as she looks to force a decider. Both players get another Tetris 681 to 547, but Dan gonna have to do a little bit of digging here. Looks like he's gonna get out of it with pretty clean. Jasmine saying, lock in, Dan. You got this. Lombard Tetris, 756. Gonna get it down. Nice. Okay, Sidnev gets a Lombard to resolve a dependency. We're still not in the greatest shape, but gets the Lombard, gets a Tetris 787, and she's going to get the pieces to make it work. 787 for Sidnev, 658 for Dan. Nice stitch. Jasmine loves the mid-stack Vits there. Sidnev holding on to about 150,000 point lead. Dan Tetris is into 23, so Sidnev has about half a level of lines in hand. She will have to do a little bit of digging here unless she gets some really good pieces for some tucks. They don't quite come, so she'll have to do waiting for the bar. It has a dependency. Gets that dependency reopened. I wouldn't call it a well. I'm gonna get it burnt out a little bit. Dan not really in a position to capitalize, but he is getting the well reopened. Gets the Lombard, gets a Tetris. And Sidnev's getting it down. There you go, very nice Lombard. So, almost out of this dig. Dan's going to make some of it up here at the end of it. Because, yeah, he gets a few Tetrises. And now, okay, the game is pretty much tied now. 861 for Sidnev, 855 for Dan. Are these scores accurate? Yes, they are. How to go from +4 to 0 Tetrises. Sometimes it just happens very quickly. Because it's like, 16 lines. Also, look at the lines in hand as well. So, Sidnev's at 958, Dan's at 926. Tetrises are worth kind of a lot here. So, the best of my knowledge, yeah, like this leads can just like evaporate very quickly, which is why. All right, Sidnev has maxed out 1026. Dan's at 931. Yeah. Yeah, this is a normal rate at which people get Tetrises. 973, Dan's about to max out, has one more Tetris before the 19 transition. Sidnev gets a well reopened, gets it 1065 for Sidnev, and Dan transitions 1010. So Sidnev already has the 1.1. Waiting for the bar. And she's about to go into transition, but Dan misshifts the L. Can he get over to the left? He gets a bar. Nice. Gets an L over, gets a bar. And he's not quite dead yet. 1137 for Sidnev. Getting the stack down, needs to be over to the left, but Dan's looking really, really spicy. He's going to top out at 10-20. Sidnev is good for game number 4. We're going into a decider. All right, both players are ready. Let's count them down for game number 5 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Hey. Sidnev for Tetris on the board. Dan set up for his. Board doesn't quite come for a while, but he'll get it. Both players trying to getting locked in here. Both players had a 1.5 earlier in the set. Every game has gone to transition. Pretty sure every game has been a double max out. So, just kind of as we expected, huge set. Ed and Verbas putting those decider emojis in chat. You know, we love them. Sidnev about a Tetris lead, and maybe not actually, when you consider lines in hand. It's tied up. Players playing clean so far. Sidnev does have a Lombard dependency, so gonna take a couple burns. Has to burn it out before the bar comes, but going to get a Tetris. $185, both players. Sidnev with a 381 point lead. Just have to take a double. So, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. Or it's not really coming. Dan's gonna have to sing some burns as well. Kind of a little bit of 25. There we go. 28 piece drought for these players. So, enough for them to feel a little. Enough for them to kind of sting a little. But they'll get out of it. Sidnev has her well blocked right when the bar comes, because that is the way of the world. Lombard Tetris though, so she will catch right back up. Or actually, Dan has a little bit of a lead now, just kind of managed to keep his well open when the bars came, but still pretty close. 265 for Sidnev, 306 for Dan. Dan gets the L for the tuck. Gonna get a long bar for the Tetris. There you go. Sidnev also gets the much needed S piece, keeps her board in order. Lombard Tetris 288 to 352. The player is about halfway to level 19. Okay, Dan's up kind of high, gets it down, gets a Lombard, gets a Tetris. We'll have to take, yeah. Sidnev didn't have to take quite so many burns, but Dan's still kind of holding on to the lead here. Sidnev with an overhang, like a square, something like that. Gets a bar for a Tetris as well. And we're playing pretty well right now. Nothing really spicy happening right at the moment, though Dan is getting a little droughted, up kind of high. Would like a bar, takes the triple. Doing a really good job of kind of, playing it safe, taking the triples when he needs it, not letting his board get too high. Sidnev has a little bit of abstract art on her board. Going to take a little bit of time to burn it out. Looks like she's doing so fairly efficiently. Would like a bar. Go ahead and just plug that up with an L. Not going to wait for it. Probably the right call. There we go. And just like that, she is clean again. Gets a Lombard, gets a Tetris. 441 for Sidnev. 509 for Dan. About equal line count. So 60, 70,000 point lead thereabouts for Dan as we get into the late stages of 18. Anyone's game here. This is game number 5. This is the decider. And we're about to hit post. About to hit the middle third. Ooh, Sidnev, a little bit of a J misdrop. Not super happy about it, but sorry, a bar misdrop. Misrotates it. But she's going to get it cleared out. Pieces don't quite come. So she's in a little bit of a dig. 490 for her. Going to get the T-spin. There we go. Thank you, Rin Rin. Hello. How's it going? Oh yeah, I guess I'm taking your match after that. Let me know which one it is, and I'll probably need like 5 or 10 minutes after this to get myself situated. Dana's transition gets another Tetris on top of that, 610. Sits at 497. Going to transition with a 498. Still in a dig, but she reopens her well. Has a hole in her stack, so going to take the triple. Going to get her reopened. Waiting for the Lombard. Gets it. Lombard Tetris. 530 for Sidnev. 611 for Dan. So Dan up about 130,000 points. Sidnev Lombard Tetris. Hello, monthly Tetris rating with a party of 10? Hello, welcome in. Good to see ya. What was going on over there? Were there 2 raids? I don't know what's going on over there, but welcome in. Thank you. We're in a decider for a really, really good match here. Sidnev versus DanV. Both players, I'm going to repeat myself here. Sidnev's down about 100,000 points. Gets into the Lombard, gets into the Tetris. So it is closing the gap just a little bit here. This game has gone, both players have gotten to 1.5. Every single game has gotten to the kill screen. Every single game has been a double max out. Yeah. Just kind of, this sort of Tetris you expect from players at this level. Which one? Sidnev. Hello, welcome in. We got a mucho animo, Sidnev. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Jazz is saying, how you got there? Hello, welcome in. Party of 10 plus 187. Okay, cool. Well, hello, welcome in, everyone. We got a game brewing. Lombard for Tetris. Dan's going to score another one. 893. 796. Sorry, 756 for Sidnev. She set up the Lombard Tetris 786. Has a bit of a suffer game, but she's also submitted a little bit of rough RNG in 18 here. Dan has a bit of a misdrop, so we'll be digging just a little bit. Instead of a little bit of a chance to close the gap. Waiting on the bar, got the Tetris, 848 to 930. Dan holding on to about 100,000 point lead. It's been like that since the 18 transition. As Sidnev's going to get another Tetris, she's keeping herself in this. Because we've seen how well she can play 29, though Dan is no slouch either. Anything can happen once we hit there. 919 to 939. Hold on. And that happened real quick. Dan's still digging. And now, that's kind of the thing with these later post levels. Every Tetris, massive. Sidnev waiting on the bar here. She set up, ended up getting the double. 928 to 977. Lombard Tetris, 2 off the bottom for Sidnev. 1101. Dan has maxed out. Sidnev's about to. 963. Lombard Tetris 996 stands up to level 28, 1047. So both players have maxed out. They're really close to each other, but Dan getting a little dirty right before 29. Gets a Lombard, gets a Tetris, gets that stack down. Sidnev gets a Lombard for her left, so she's not going to have to worry about it. 5 lines away. Dan is now cleaned up as well. Waiting on the bar. Is the bar going to come? 5 lines away. Dan transitions 1084, and Sidnev blocks her well. Lombard. Okay, she gets a Tetris, and that's going to be massive. 1073 gets another one. 1112. Dan at 1138. Dan currently up to level 30. Sidnev as well. Sidnev getting the stack down. She has a little bit of a dig ahead of her. She misdrops the J. That's going to be okay. Tetris for Stan. He's up to 1182. Sidnev's board creeping up a little bit further. Can she get the bar over? No, she can't. She just drops the L, and she's going to be done at 1120. Dan is good for game number 5 and the set. GG's. Man. Oh, man, Dan's just going to keep going on here. I see him mulling this out, kind of a little bit of a victory lap. He can't get the S all the way over, and looks like the board's falling apart here a little bit. Yeah. Sidnev played a great game, but Dan's going to take it. Dan just... another huge set for Dan. He keeps his undefeated season alive. If you're looking on the site, they do not. So the playoff odds are probably completely borked. I guess I could be the one who... I could be the change I want to see in the world and update the site. I kind of wanted to do that for a while anyway, because Neko currently 40,000 point difference, so he looks like he's made up a little bit of it, but actually I don't know if that's just a artifact of nice Corian thing. Nice Vits from Neko just showing off all the adjustments. Just a whole